Everyone, the Anthony S. You aren't alone. I'm going to do a practice round of my speech for tomorrow on here, and I'm going to use it as my timer. We'll start at 30 seconds on here, and then it'll be around 5 to 7 minutes. So this should be a 5 minute to 30 second to a 7 minute to 30 second. It's about my communication skills. It's part of my pathways for Toastmasters. So in 5 seconds here we go. I have a confession to make, everyone. Yes, indeed I do. I like to communicate. It's something I enjoy a lot. It is, in my opinion, paramount to all business, all relationships. Frankly, I've probably over communicated in my time and had really bad first impressions because of it. Although that might be the problem, occasionally meeting someone, they always come around because I'm able to smooth it out. And today we're going to do a pathways talk, and we're going to go over what the Toastmaster test gave me as my communication styles. First one, it gave me supportive, calm, steady, sincere, approachable, gentle. My high priorities on relationships. I don't like conflict, and I can be seen as indecisive. This was my highest one, and I understand that. We're going to come back to it in a moment. I want to talk about the next slide here real quick and see what number 2 was, because they were only one apart. My second one was direct, decisive, competitive, independent, confident, very results-oriented, sometimes demanding. Concerned more about the results in relationships, fast-paced, and likes efficiency, structured, and formal environments. So as you can see, those almost counteract each other. Now, this plays onto the bigger story of what my management style is, and I believe I have about a mix of both. So what about a mix of both? Can I be supportive and direct? Can I have a deep care for my coworkers? Can I have an open door policy management style? Yes, I've been frustrated in the past when there's been some change, which is a negative of being a supportive communicator. Can I have parts of direct? Care about results, enjoy creating of an efficient process. Yes, I've also become frustrated when I have to depend on others at times. Now, this is a bigger conversation of never put yourself in one category. I'm very much a mix of these two. In fact, I got 5 on my score on this one and 4 on direct. So 5 on support, 4 on direct. Very close. I'm not sure what the full number was, but there was about 7 or 8 questions. And it gave me a few answers that were, I had a few analyticals and I had a few of the other one that were the fourth topic. Now, when you look at your own leadership, and basically what I'm going to talk today about is more about what about you? And I'll tell you the questions I asked myself when trying to figure this out originally, probably about 5 years ago when I decided to dedicate myself to leadership. Because communication style is a direct parallel to your leadership style. Some of the questions I asked, what were the positions I've held in certain clubs or even work? How do I interact with coworkers? So am I more of the teacher? Am I more of the jokester? Where do I sit in that space? What role do I take in my family? Were you more of a black sheep, or were you more of a patriarch, matriarch, a supporter role to the patriarch, matriarch, someone that just has a shoulder to cry on for everyone? They're the rock of the family. There's definitely a feel there, and a few more here. Do I like facts? Do I enjoy conflict? Those were definitely important too, because those will be directly correlated to the finding out how you communicate. But don't be afraid to look at every section and then decide based on what you feel. So many people lock themselves into one of these based on maybe a test like this, and they lose sight of the fact that we are very diverse, and as leaders, some of us aren't even meant to be leaders. If your communication style is the analytical, which is one of the other 4 of this, you'll most likely be in more of a operations behind the scenes role. My two, supportive and direct, correlate directly to being a top end leader of an organization. I need to be supportive. I need to also be direct. I need to focus on results, but I need to listen. I need to be able to hear out anyone's opinions. There's definitely a very solid mix, and it's very required. So I definitely say next time you want to really start figuring out who you are, maybe start with your communication style, because that way you'll know how you're going to speak to the next person, and then you'll be able to actually pay attention to what's going on and ask yourself some more of those questions. Like, for instance, did you decide to do like a VP role in a club, a vice president role, or a treasury role versus the president? There's definitely different angles to look at it on that side of things. Of, okay, those are support roles compared to the main leader, or likewise. So definitely, once again, my communication style is supportive and direct. Some questions to ask yourself, if you're trying to figure out who you are. What positions have you held in clubs? How do I interact with coworkers? What role do I take in my family? Do I like facts, and do I enjoy conflict? Those 5 are pretty solid, and it should give you a deeper understanding of how you approach most situations and conversations. Thank you. That was pretty good. Not too good. I'm going to change up a little bit. When you're doing the way I practice speaking, I don't really write the full speech. I do more of a dry run, figure it out, and then the first couple in, I'm pretty confident with how I want it to sound, and I just roll with it. It's kind of my style. This is the Anthony S. You Aren't Alone. Hope that was actually somewhat helpful. It wasn't quite what I wanted to be, but I'm glad you guys were here to share with me. Talk to you all soon.